Arkansas. I love everything here. Give me that thing here. Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Wide open again.
All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Time to get into the middle of the week. And, I just realized this. I've already thrown away the box score from Arkansas Western Kentucky. What did I do that for? Well, I think we all know what we did, why I did that. I should have crumpled it up right after the game. Unfortunately, Ty and me had to do hog reaction, so you had to look at that thing. But when I made the decision to crumple up the Saturday box score, which I've been doing at 1:00 on Wednesdays, right in the middle of the week, because we would focus on the next game, which is LSU next Saturday, not this Saturday, with the last bye week of the season. But once Chad Morris was fired, it's like, who cares about what happened at Western Kentucky now? The game spoke for itself. The decision has been made. So I already threw the darn thing away. So, Ty, that was one of the gimmicks that even some of our listeners have been looking forward to over the last few weeks since I made that decision. I will crumple up the box score from the LSU game the day before Thanksgiving. And then I guess I'll do the same thing with the Missouri game the next Wednesday. I do have a box score here from last night's 66-43 win over North Texas. So I still have a box score in front of me. Ty, do you think I should crumple this box score at 1:00, or should I hold on to it for a couple of days before we preview Arkansas-Montana on Saturday? This is heavy stuff that we're dealing with right now.
I saw Barstool UA put this out, the fact that Chad Morris's defense gave up more points to Western Kentucky than Eric Musselman's defense gave up to North Texas.
Well, I think it was also like North Texas football scored 44 last year against Arkansas, and then North Texas basketball puts up a robust 43 last night.
I know Hogs Stats had this for us. 2015 was the last time that you've allowed a score as low as 43 points, and then the fact that it's been back-to-back, not only North Texas but Rice as well, the defense has come to play in these first two games, Phil. And I think that's what's been interesting and what fans have liked to see is the offense did not necessarily click against North Texas, but it sure did click against Rice. But the one staple in both those basketball games is they were all over the court defensively. And they were forcing turnovers. I think they forced 27 against Rice and had a little below 20 last night. They were hounding them. The half-court defense was turned up. And I think it was 6 or 7 minutes before North Texas got a bucket last night. So give props to Eric Musselman, Mosier, Crutchfield. Who's the other assistant that I'm missing out on? Crutchfield? Williams. For the defensive assignments and the defensive tactics they've been using. So far, so good. We'll see what happens when they face a little more height down low in the next couple weeks, Phil.
And we're going to talk basketball for the first segment here. Arkansas, North Texas. We'll get into the college football poll in the second segment. Clay Henry joining us in the third segment. I wonder what we're talking about with Clay. Probably some coaching search stuff. And, of course, you can be a part of it on the Cherokee Casino Hotline all throughout the next couple of hours, 877-377-6963. I should have had a V8 moment last night. That's why I texted you that. Have you ever had a V8 time? Because when I was looking back throughout the last few seasons on the schedule page on the Razorback basketball website to see the last time that Arkansas had allowed 43 points. I'm looking for the last couple of minutes. Who knows how many points was going to be scored at that point? And I go all the way back to it was right after New Year's, 2015. Arkansas held Utah Valley State to 42 points.
Okay.
So I tweeted out once 4 zeros hit the clock that this is the first game since then that Arkansas allowed this few points. I even tag Hog Stats on it. And my should have had a V8 moment was, oh, goodness, they just allowed 43 points a week before against Rice. So it hadn't been 4 years. It had been 7 days since they did it. So you've never had a V8. I don't think you know the commercial that I'm referring to. I won't force you to learn about it tomorrow during halftime homework. But if you feel like you had a moment where you just forgot something that was pretty obvious, you just hit the side of your head and you say, I could have had a V8.
So they get the first 2 wins in the Eric Musselman era. He is now 5-0 in openers as a head coach, and he gets the win against North Texas last night. I'm texting my buddy Brent before the show, who listens to the program, and he's really excited. And he's a donor to the U of A, and I know a lot of other Arkansas basketball fans are really excited about this program. And I was talking to John about this last night. Theoretically, they could be 12-4 heading into that Kentucky game with losses to LSU, Georgia Tech, Western Kentucky, and the other one's on the tip of my tongue, but it's escaping me. And I think Indiana would be there. I don't think they're going to win. And I always forget, what's it called? Hilton Coliseum
in Bloomington.
Yeah, what's it? Why did
that's just called? Man, I should know. Assembly Hall. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I only spent 2 years going to that building.
Yeah, and Hilton Coliseum is, I think, where Butler plays. I need to.
No. Butler plays in Hinkle Fieldhouse.
House.
What is Hilton Coliseum? I think that's in Iowa State.
Yes, that's where Ames is. That's where Fred Hoiberg used to coach. Steve Prohm. I need to be reprimanded for that. I'm going to blame it on the sickness, Phil.
That's the other part about this show. It was such a big part of yesterday's show. You feeling any better today, Ty?
A little bit.
Did Arkansas holding North Texas to 33% shooting and 2 of 17 from long range? Did that do something that maybe spicy foods or a hottie toddy or a little whiskey nip might help you with?
We'll definitely get into that and change my mind. I was coughing a ton last night, but I feel a little better, but I was coughing, so I'm curious to see if it balances out by this weekend. But there was a lot of listeners that chimed in on the Cherokee Casino Hotline call or text that gave me suggestions on what I should do. And I'm running out of Mucinex. Like my dosage is almost up with what I bought. I am going to have some spicy foods today because I'm sick of just eating bland chicken noodle soup and biscuits with honey. So I'm actually going to go back to my good stuff when it comes to food. So
you know what you got to do? You got to turn up the body temperature the way that Arkansas turns up the intensity for defense in basketball. That's what you've got to do. You've got to match Eric Musselman's intensity after an Adrio Bailey thunder dunk on a return on an offensive rebound where he was jumping out of his polo pretty much. You need to turn it all the way up to 11 like the amp in This Is Spinal Tap, which I don't know if that's what you're going to watch for tomorrow's halftime homework. I definitely advise it. You'll know what I'm talking about. You got to turn everything up and get the top of your head sweating. So, but hey, when you talk about defense, what's the number one thing that defense takes? A lot of coaches have told me this. It takes effort at the top of the list. It takes effort. And this team, over the first 2 games, you can see the effort, not just in the box score, but just in the way they defend. I think it's difficult sometimes to figure out how a team is so good at defending the 3. It's all about intensity and the ability to get your hand in an opponent's face at the right time. That's something Eric Musselman touched on last night in the post-game presser. Was talking about how Arkansas is defending the 3 so well. Mm-hmm. It's not just about being at the perimeter when the shooter's ready. It's about getting that hand in his eyeballs. Those were Mussel's words. Arkansas has allowed just 4 3-pointers on 42 attempts for these first couple of games. And they've faced 2 teams that have played completely different styles. Rice, wasn't able to match Arkansas's ability to score or the speed. North Texas tried to counterbalance that speed by slowing the game down, and Arkansas had no choice but to play at that speed with North Texas walking it up like they did. But this is great to see that Arkansas has won 2 games against 2 opponents that play the game completely differently. North Texas has a little height. I think you do worry about being out-rebounded 37-24, allowing North Texas to rebound 41% of their missed shots. That's going to come back and haunt you against some of the other teams in the SEC. But the defensive effort is there. That's the thing at the top of the list, is that this team gives great effort defensively, and I think they're fun to watch defensively. 877-377-6963 is our Cherokee Casino hotline. Want your calls and texts up until 2 o'clock today. And we are brought to you by Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren, where the year-end clearance sale continues. Great deals on all kinds of new RVs. Travel trailers starting at $99.95. Fifth wheels under $30,000. And, of course, Breeden RV is the only dealer that will give all new customers maintenance for life, and it's for free. It's Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren. BreedenRVs.com for more information. Stay tuned here on Start a Rumor Day. That's an interesting hashtag holiday, and it's coaching search, so yes, rumors make sense. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
The lines are getting ridiculous in the bathroom, and people who don't want to spend money on water, they go in and refill their cups inside of the sink, and it's tap water.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help out the people out there.
I'm not refilling my water bottle in the bathroom sink at the stadium. I'm sorry. No.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man. Fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com. A division of Quantum Property Services.
Turn November into Yes-Vember at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Hi everyone, David Neal here inviting you to come see our best inventory yet. It's Black Friday all month long with savings up to $13,000 on a new 2019 Silverado Z71. That's over 25% off. We have new Chevrolet Blazers with up to $6,000 off. When it comes time to find your new vehicle, visit us at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren, exit 2A off of I-540. We have prices you'll love and people you can trust. Road Chevrolet, find new roads.
See dealer for details. It's getting colder outside. Did you know you could save up to 60% on your heating bill by converting to safe, reliable natural gas from AOG? The savings can actually pay for your conversion cost. So why pay more to heat your home and water? The convenience and abundant supply of American-produced natural gas makes it the right choice. Call AOG or visit AOGC.com and switch to natural gas today. AOG. Energy for life.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing, and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren. Metal Direct offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shops, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Direct assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by their location at 7420 Inmar Drive in Little Rock, one block off University behind Napa Auto Parts, or call them at 501-562-3112. Metal Direct, the right material for the right price.
We did it again. Evans Body Shop has been voted the best independent collision repair shop in the River Valley for the second year in a row. None of it would have been possible without our top-notch crew and our customers, friends, and family that take their time to vote for us. We would like to say thank you. We are humbled by the continued loyalty and support from our community and staff and will continue to go above and beyond every day. Evans Body Shop, 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren. Come by today and see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Looking to upgrade your fleet or needing professional service to your existing fleet? Carco International of Fort Smith offers the latest trucks and equipment in the industry. With over 70 years in the trucking and equipment business, they have the experience to keep you on the road. Carco International offers professional service after the sale. Carco International Parts Department supplies all makes, parts, and gives expert service. Carco International is the answer. Leave it to the pros to keep you on the road. Carco International, located at 2721 Midland Boulevard in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill.
To the beat.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Jones, 5 seconds, 4 seconds to shoot. Mason kicks it away. Joe, three-pointer good. With 3.8 seconds to play, Joe cans the three.
One of 4 3-pointers hit by Isaiah Joe. He and Mason Jones matched each other with a game-high 16 points. 9 of those points for Mason Jones coming in a perfect night at the foul line. I know one thing that'll stand out to you, Ty Richardson, is Arkansas going 20 of 24 from the free throw line, including in the second half. They went 17 of 20. That's putting a team away, and that was one area where Arkansas struggled mightily last year.
Yeah, you got to be able to hit free throws. And if you think about this team, this is a fringe NIT NCAA tournament team. So in order to become the NCAA tournament team, you're going to have to win those close ball games. And that's going to come down not only to just not turning the ball over, executing on offense, on defense, but making your free throws. That's going to be huge this year. And I know that we always talk about their lack of size, how they're going to get killed on the boards, but the fact that they have so much quickness on the floor, the fact that they employ 4 guards in a lot of different parts of the game, they're going to get to the foul line because a lot of teams aren't going to be able to stay with Arkansas. So you got to knock down the points where they count. They were able to do that last night. We'll see if they can do that when the games get a little tighter, Phil.
Our Cherokee Casino hotline remains open for you, 877-377-6963. Paul in the Fort asked about Vanover maybe getting another look at a waiver, and what we've heard is that Arkansas has appealed the NCAA's decision, but also what we understand is that those appeals from the decisions that's already been made very, very rarely go in the team's favor. So I would not count on Connor Vanover coming back to play this year for Arkansas, but he does continue to practice and hopefully can pack on a couple of pounds here and there.
Maybe Arkansas should just pull a Memphis. If you haven't heard what's happening with James Wiseman.
You want to get a court injunction to allow him to play?
Just get a court injunction. Some lawyer, judge in Arkansas, get a court injunction, allow and defy the NCAA, because that's what's happening in Memphis right now. If you haven't heard the story, the number 1 recruit, James Wiseman, Penny helped move him and his family from Nashville when he was 7 years old. I think the total moving fees were like $15,000 or $17,000. Double-check me on that, someone. But the NCAA declared him ineligible a couple hours prior to their opener, and then they got a court injunction. Penny drove James to the court, got the injunction, and now he's played ever since. So the Memphis Tigers are basically double birding the NCAA right now, completely define what's happening. It's a wild story. We'll keep you in tune with it next couple weeks. But, hey.
You know who we've got to get? We need to get Stats Norsworthy on to talk about this.
Yeah.
I listened to him. He's sports host from Sports 56 in Memphis and does the pre- and post-game show on Ole Miss football broadcasts. And, of course, as our Arkansas guy through and through.
Graduate.
I listened to when the news came out about Wiseman being ruled ineligible, and before the judge had gave the injunction, I listened to him for about 30 minutes, and it was something to behold. You feel like Memphis basketball is getting a lot more fans right now, just because they're taking on the NCAA in a way that you haven't seen, outside of maybe Ed O'Bannon taking the NCAA to court. This is a whole different thing. This is the kind of thing where you feel like even people that don't like Memphis sports might even be rooting for them as a double bird to the NCAA.
So I didn't wasn't the biggest fan of Memphis when Cal was there, but I love Penny Hardaway. I love the early Orlando Magic with him and Shaquille O'Neal. There's a great documentary, great 30 for 30 on that. And I enjoy the city of Memphis. Beale Street's great, and I enjoyed sports around there. When Cal left, I definitely my love for Memphis sports kind of grew a little bit. I kind of like it. I think outside of like Knoxville, Memphis is an easy team to like. Now, I know there's a budding rivalry that's growing a little bit between Rick Barnes and Penny Hardaway, and obviously for recruits in that state. But I think Memphis is a program you get behind. I think Penny Hardaway is a likable enough guy. I know some Arkansas fans won't like him if Chris Moore on Saturday elects to go and be a Memphis Tiger, but I think a lot of people are siding with James Wiseman and Penny Hardaway, especially the fact that the NCAA is accounting Penny Hardaway as a booster when he was not working with Memphis. He was just doing AAU stuff at the time, which technically it's under the rule, but I don't know, this is getting a little too nitty-gritty for me. And again, I didn't go to law school or anything, so I can't define all the parameters and the rules. But I would just be annoyed if I'm a Memphis basketball fan, and I think that it's frustrating for sure, Phil.
Well, I'll effort getting Brett Norsworthy on maybe later on this week or perhaps early next week, because this is a story that I think he knows in and out right now, and people like to hear others rail against the NCAA, and it's this will reverberate throughout not just college basketball, but I think college athletics overall. Be very interesting to see what goes down with it. So as I was settling into Bud Walton Arena for last night's basketball game, the College Football Playoff Committee came out with their second set of rankings. LSU, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia rounding out the top four. Alabama falls, one spot? Were they third or fourth last week? I can't remember what it was, but they drop out to fifth. So, and it's, these seem to be conversation centers, because it would seem that some of the games that are on the schedule, or even some of the championship games that are on the schedule, will figure things out as far as some of your thoughts of, why is Georgia ahead of Alabama after losing to South Carolina? Bama's only lost to LSU. Look, Georgia still has Auburn on the schedule. I think that's a game they can lose. Auburn, by the way, is there any other team in college football that will have more of a bearing on these college football rankings than the Auburn Tigers?
No.
And that even goes into their victory over Oregon right now, which is the Ducks' only loss. You would classify it as a good loss. That would be why Oregon is number 6 ahead of Utah at number 7, as Utah lost to Southern California. But Auburn, who, by the way, is 12th in the country in the playoff poll, has Georgia and Alabama over the next 3 weeks with, I guess you'd call it an easy game against Samford in the middle. So a lot of this will be decided by how well Auburn plays. And there is a definite possibility. I've seen people float the idea of maybe even 3 SEC teams somehow making it into the playoffs. I think that's probably a step too far, but it almost right now feels like a guarantee. It's almost like a guarantee that you're going to have 2 SEC teams in the playoffs this year. And that Oklahoma's going to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they got to win this Saturday in Waco, Texas, and they'll likely match up against Baylor again in the Big 12 championship. We'll see if that ends up happening. It's also funny to look at it from this perspective, Phil. Now, I know a lot of these potential coaching candidates are more fans' perspective than actually realistic, but if you look at some of these, you got my brother is obsessed with Kyle Whittingham in Utah. I think for religious reasons he'd never come here. PJ Fleck, obviously.
Hey, Miss Lisa, remember, she was all about Kyle Whittingham last week.
Yeah, didn't it take her like 3 or 4 answers to finally get there though?
No, that was the one at the top of her. That was the one right on the tip of her tongue. It was after that she went with Charlie Strong, and they said, well, this is way down on the list. But I don't think. Look, Whittingham is a name that's not getting tossed around. I think there's good reason for that. I think he's staying at Utah no matter what.
Yeah, it's a Utah guy. Minnesota, PJ Fleck, who just got that extension. Auburn, obviously, with Gus Malzahn at number 12. Matt Rule, Baylor, number 13. Rule's not leaving Arkansas, or leaving Baylor for Arkansas.
How about Baylor? Undefeated, one of 5 undefeated teams left, 13th in the country. Well, I guess, a 3-point win over West Virginia, a couple of overtime wins will do that for you. They're the only undefeated team that routinely is playing close games.
They'll play Oklahoma and then Texas the following week, so they have a little bit of traction that they could get going. We'll see what happens. Obviously, Mike Norvell at Memphis at number 18. And I'm just looking at this now, but does Luke Fickell, Cincinnati, who's lost 1 game all season, Ohio State, does that do anything for Arkansas fans? And I know he's an Ohio guy, was the interim at Ohio State, then became the defensive coordinator under Urban Meyer, and then moved on to Cincinnati. Does that do anything for Arkansas fans? I don't know, but that's just a name I'm looking at. Brian Harson's been tossed around. He is the head coach at Boise State. Obviously, Mike Gundy with his son going to Arkansas. People think realistically that he can be lured away from Stillwater to Arkansas. That's not happening. I've heard Chris Kleiman at Kansas State. This is the guy that was the coach at he was an assistant maybe at North Dakota State, if I remember that correctly.
No, he was the head coach. He built them into the FCS program, the preeminent program.
Okay, so he was the head coach. And then Eli Drinkowitz, who's at Appalachian State, who they got a big win against South Carolina, I think, this weekend. So they've been, I think this is their first time in the college football playoff rankings, if not the second or so. It hasn't been that much, but a lot of, and I put air quotes if you're watching the live stream, Arkansas candidates that are listed in the top 25. So
Fickle would be pretty interesting. You know, a guy that's been at a big-time program, Ohio State. At that point, it was a job a little too big for him. He's done great things at Cincinnati, but I don't know what sort of, you know, connections to Texas or to Arkansas. And it does seem that the prevailing theory that we hear quite a bit is that you need to have at least experience recruiting in Texas.
Yeah.
Which is more than anything, it feels like that's why Chad Morris was hired to begin with, was the recruiting connections with Texas.
And I need to say this, and since Hunter Yurchek is going on year number 2 of the job, he's closing on year 2 coming up this December. I would be very surprised if you actually got good information on who's going to be the next football coach. He kept the Eric Musselman situation really tight, Phil. And I know we have some great reporters, some great journalists here in Arkansas who are tremendous at this job, but it just seems like that he is so set on not telling anyone who he's going to hire, which is good because you don't want leaks. So I would just, in the next couple weeks, the next couple months, I'm not necessarily going to buy into all the hype of who I hear about. I just think he's going to keep it airtight, and I think that's what's ultimately going to happen, Phil.
Stay tuned. We're going to talk with Clay Henry about this very topic as halftime continues on this frigid Wednesday.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime.
Hey, this is Ted with Ed Walker's Drive-In. For more than 70 years, Ed Walker's has been the place to go for the best French dips and hand-patted hamburgers in town. Blue Plate Specials served Monday through Friday, and we're still the home of Fort Smith's only 5-pound hamburger. We're open 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. Call ahead for pickup, 783-3352. Ed Walker's Drive-In, 1500 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, where the legend lives on.
Arkansas Valley Insurance Agency is an independent insurance agency fulfilling all your insurance needs since 1931. Insure your home, auto, farm, commercial property, and your life and health with one of the many companies represented by Arkansas Valley Insurance. Companies like Liberty Mutual, Foremost, Travelers, Columbia, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Safeco, MetLife, and many more. Visit Arkansas Valley Insurance Agency locations in Danville, Charleston, Boonville, and Mena. You can also contact us at arkansasvalleyinsurance.com.
At Chambers Bank, our Arkansas roots grow deep, and you can trust us as your partner for every banking need. From a simple checking account to your first home loan, whatever you need, big or small, we are here for you. With 18 convenient branches throughout the state and a full suite of online banking options, we will always be available when you need us. Family owned in Arkansas since 1930, Chambers is your full-service community bank. Bank with trust at Chambers Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 631520.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code. Lesson 42. This is how you say happy hour. It's happy hour. Let's go get some Bud Lights. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's football season, and the right play is at Hertz Car Sales, 2810 Midland Boulevard. Their business is quality used cars at a great price, with their #1 goal of passing the savings on to you. The latest makes and models, low mileage vehicles, with an overall experience that can't be matched. Make the short drive to 2810 Midland Boulevard today and find that there's no better way to buy your next vehicle. Call them today at 783-1722 or check them out online at buyfromhertz.com. Hertz Car Sales. What are you waiting for?
Elite Roofing is a locally owned roofing contractor. If you're building a new home or maybe need a new roof on your existing home, Elite Roofing can take care of you. Elite Roofing is known for their dependability and reliability. Just ask any of their satisfied customers. They are licensed and insured, and references are available upon request. If you need a roof, call your local roofing contractors. Elite Roofing, 478-8668. That's 478-8668. Elite Roofing, 478-8668.
ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown!
Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Joe keeps possession, 5 to shoot, needs some help, away to Sills. Desi finds Witt, Jimmy to the basket, shot no good. Bailey with a follow as the shot clock expired. They count the bucket.
Let's go to the Cherokee Casino hotline. Our friend Clay Henry, publisher of Hogs Illustrated. You can read him as well at Whole Hog Sports. Joining us right now, Clay. What's going on in the fishing woods today?
The fishing woods, yeah. It's a little too cold for that. Your lines would freeze in their guides, and that's probably technical information, but it would be no fun.
I'm guessing you've been ice fishing before, but it's nothing that you do in the state of Arkansas.
No, I mean, of course, this is moving water, so it's not going to freeze salt. The rivers are. But what you have to do is, you cast a few times and your guides start to crust up with ice, and you stick your whole rod to the point where almost your hand is underwater and swish it around. It frees the ice out, and then you can cast again. And I have done that, but I guess that was probably in my years where I was not as smart as I am now, maybe, or I'm just not as tough anymore.
Well,
I've come to the realization that there will be another day, and it will be warmer.
The years bring wisdom. I don't know about if it's intelligence or not.
No.
But,
no.
I would say this. It sounds to me like it's a little bit more fun maybe to talk fishing than it is about searching for a new football coach at Arkansas.
Yeah,
would that be accurate?
No, I like the search stuff. I've always found it fun. And, there was a time during my career that I was at the Tulsa World, and they had what they called the Big Six. You covered 6 college basketball Division I programs. It was, Oral Roberts in Tulsa in town, but then you had Oklahoma City, which at some point was a good college basketball. Abe Lemons was the coach at certain periods, and then Oklahoma State, and so that was 6. And there was 1 month where there were 4 of those 6 jobs open, and then what you had is sometimes they were going after each other's coaches, and that was a zoo, and so all those searches. So for instance, Arkansas hired Nolan Richardson. Well, that didn't help me any. It just created another opening for another search. It's like one leads to the other. If you have musical chairs going on.
Well, you're going to have musical chairs at Arkansas football
No
right
question.
now. So what would you put at the top of the list? What does Arkansas need mostly in a head coach? And this is a program obviously needs a lot right now, but what do you put at the top of the list?
I don't have the detail. And by that I mean, how much money do you have? And, you could compile a wish list, would have somebody like Matt Campbell from Iowa State, or and I've been listening to y'all. Y'all had some of the other names. The Power 5 coaches, and the buyouts. They're incredible. And so you just you don't really know what you've got going with the Bielema buyout. I mean, how much of that are you going to still have to pay? Then you've got 10.1, I guess, that you owe Chad Morris for over the next 3 years. It's a lot of money, guys. Then you have to kind of guess how many tickets are you going to sell with the new coach, and how much money is that going to be? So you work all those numbers. I don't have those numbers. So how much, is Mike Norvell affordable because his buyout is relatively low? I'm told $600,000. Well, that's doable no matter what your numbers are. And I think but could you pay one of those huge ones to attract somebody like Matt Campbell? I don't know. And Hunter Yurchek knows, but he's not, he hasn't told us. There's been some numbers out there that say, okay, they've got, they're going to offer a 5 or a 6 year or a 7 year, and then they're going to pay this and that. All that seems far-fetched to me. I think that's just somebody guessing what like they could pay a coach $7 million. Well, no, they can't. I don't think they can. But I don't know. So that's where you have to start, and then you hear, the concepts of let's not do the buyouts big anymore, which Juracek he's big, he's heavy into that. But it doesn't sound like that's where he's going to be able to slide out this time. That they, after firing a coach, not completing his second year, they're going to have to pay a buyout, I think, or guarantee a significant buyout with some job security to get the kind of coach that I think they're going to want.
We're speaking with Clay Henry, publisher of Hogs Illustrated, on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. Clay, I keep getting texts from buddies about Sam Pittman. You have a relationship with him. What do you think the odds of him coming back to Fayetteville as the head coach are?
I don't know odds. I can just tell you.
I don't. We don't have to go to that kind of. But what do you think about him as a head coach?
Here's what I can tell you just from dealing with him. He is terrific with relationships. He can recruit. He's good in the home. He's good with parents. They want to turn their kids loose with him. Know that he's gonna be on top of it. He's very good technical and tactical offensive line coach. And that I mean he can support the offensive coordinator with scheme help, with run plays. And while he's not been an offensive coordinator, he could be an offensive coordinator with the way he understands offense schemes and play calling, protections, and all that kind of stuff. And concept. In other words, this is what we're going to do to protect our defense. And defensive coaches like to work for a coach like that. They're not going to get into a game where time of possession gets out of hand. They're going to protect their quarterbacks like that. So now what I can't tell you is that how he would do in adding a million more tasks to the day that the head coach has to do. I can't tell you how he would be at putting together the machine that runs a college football program. And I'm talking about football ops, recruiting, all those, managing all those people, because he had never done it. And he may do it great, but there's risk. And could he be the answer? Yes. Do I know for sure that he's the answer? No.
So, Clay, whoever Hunter Juracek hires, do you think there is potential if that guy fails that Arkansas can make a change at the athletic director based on what happens with this next football coach?
Well, I always say that, the measure of an athletic director is who he hires as his football coach. And you can be wrong at basketball. It's not. It's the financial liability to the program. And when I say that, I'm talking about being able to afford to pay for your track program, your soccer program, your tennis program. In golf, the sports that you're spending a lot of money on, and they don't make any money. And I know soccer does make some, but they're spending a lot more there than they're bringing in. So football is what supports all that. And you make a wrong choice there, with the liability that they have right now on their books, this is a massive hire. He knows it. And yes, 2 years from now, he could be looking for another job. He knows that. I don't think this is rocket science. This is plain, math. And it's a supporting program that, when I say that, they don't have to find money from the school or from taxpayers. But if you make wrong choice in football in 2 or 3 different hires in a row, all at once, you're not able to pay the bills.
Clay, we're coming up against the break here. Is there any chance you can stick around for the second segment? Because we were going to be talking about Gus Malzahn and the idea of, why do you not want him? And my whole question is, why would Gus Malzahn even want the Arkansas job? That's something that I'd like to get into with you if you can stick around for another segment.
You got it.
Okay, so let's do that. And if you have any calls or questions for Clay Henry, you can text them to us, 877-377-6963. Hey, there's a great giveaway right now at hitthatline.com, given away by the Branson Convention and Visitors Bureau and ESPN Arkansas. And it'll get you to Branson for 3 nights at the Hilton Hotel, tickets to a Christmas show, the North Pole Adventure at the Shepherd of the Hills, a Christmas music Ferris wheel ride from the Track Family Fun Park, and Branson restaurant gift cards. Sounds like a great time up there in Branson, and you can enter once daily at hitthatline.com, but you have to be 21 years of age or older. The last day to register is December 10th, so you got a little less than a month to do it, and it's all brought to you by the Branson Convention and Visitors Bureau, hitthatline.com, and ESPN Arkansas. We're coming back with more Clay Henry after the break, so stay tuned on Halftime.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. You're listening to Halftime.
Hi, it's David Neal with Road Chevrolet in Van Buren, where we are turning November into Yes-Vember. Come to Van Buren and see why Road Chevrolet is the place to buy your new vehicle. We have new 2019 Silverado Z71s with up to $13,000 off. That's over 25% off new Silverados. Only at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Visit roadchevy.com to see our full inventory. That's RHODES, Chevy.com. Prices you'll love, people you can trust. Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Find new roads.
See dealer for details.
We can all use extra table space for holiday dinners. Stop at a Metters Lumber True Value for the 6-foot deluxe folding table at just $34.99. It's lightweight and easy to carry. It folds in half for easy storage and has a top that won't chip, peel, or stain. For extra seating, pick up one or more all-steel folding chairs too. Just $13.99 each. Head over to Metters Lumber True Value for these bargains of the month and other great deals while supplies last.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. Your #1 Arkansas fan.
Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative is excited to introduce Wave Rural Connect, bringing state-of-the-art fiber internet, TV, and phone services right into the homes of all their members. Get amazing fast fiber internet 100 megabits for only $49.95 per month, or 1 gigabit for $79.95 per month. Go to waveruralconnect.com to find out where they're installing in your area, or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half price. And all beers on tap are half price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps. Save up to $2,700 or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The holiday sale is going on right now. Every hot tub in stock is on sale with over 60 luxury spas to choose from, and they start at just $26.95. Right now is the time. This includes delivery, cover, and startup chemicals. Stay warm and cozy this winter in your brand new hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. It's the perfect gift for you and your family. And right now, up to $2,700 off or no interest for 5 years on a brand new Hot Springs hot tub. And as part of the holiday sale, check out the full line of Big Green eggs and accessories at Burton Pools and Spas. It's the holiday sale going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Football's out. Razorbacks have picked it up. We're headed back the other way. Picked up by Cam Curl. He's still got the football. Curl's all the way. He's going to the house. Touchdown, Arkansas.
So the names that get thrown around as far as the coaching search at Arkansas football, we hear about maybe Matt Campbell. We hear about Matt Rule. We've heard Hugh Freeze. Houston Nutt was campaigning for the job on a radio station in Little Rock today. You get people talking about signing petitions for Bobby Petrino. And it just seems, Bruce Feldman from The Athletic is not the only one who thinks that Gus Malzahn is at the top of Arkansas's list. So, and we continue with Clay Henry here on Halftime up until the top of the hour. So the question that was on the rundown today, Clay, is why do you not want Gus Malzahn? I'm going to flip this around a little bit. Why would Gus Malzahn want the job at Arkansas? And did he even really want it a couple of years ago when he got extra money out of Auburn? Why would he want the job at Arkansas, a total rebuild in a place that right now you can't compete for a championship, when he's been on record as saying he's at Auburn, that's a place you can compete for a championship?
Yeah, here's the deal, and it's I think it's pretty well documented that they've since negotiating the contract and then losing in the championship game and to in the situations that they went through, they've put the old school pressure on him. In other words, everything that he does is scrutinized. If he needs a new projector or he needs a new whiteboard or anything, no, we're not doing that. Assistant coach salaries, we're going to renegotiate them. We're going to, like everything that's out there is now it's not any fun to be the head coach at Auburn under the pressure that he feels. And it can be, his wife, which we know she's been a factor in some of the things that he's done or not done. Sometimes this may make sense to a lot of people. Rick Jones is one of my favorite guys. He had one of the best jobs in Oklahoma, head coach at Broken Arrow High School, biggest school, most resources. He leaves there for Greenwood. Greenwood was really struggling as a football program at that particular time. They'd had some success earlier with Ronnie Peacock. And I knew Rick. I'd covered him when I was at the Tulsa World. Knew him from way back. Like, what are you doing? He said, sometimes you just need a new set of problems. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it's like it's just not any fun where I'm at right now. And I know there's problems where I'm going, but they want me and they don't want me here. And I think that what's going to happen in the next month will be very revealing. And he's got a good team, but he's got a young quarterback, and he's having trouble scoring. Their best part of their team is their defense, led by Kevin Steele with that great defensive front. And it's viewed at Auburn that the best coach on that staff now is Kevin Steele, not Gus Malzahn. Now, I'm not saying Kevin Steele's fixing to be head coach. He flopped miserably at Baylor. Finished up maybe 2002 or something, and they went like 1-31 or 1-36. I don't know, at the Big 12 in his 4 years. I don't know the math right. But he loses to Georgia and Alabama, they'll give him away for free. And it won't be so much that, okay, I want to be at Auburn anymore. They won't want him, and he's going to make a move. It appears to me. Now, he wins one of those games, that changes it a little bit. And, by and large, you're going to look back on this season, and Auburn's going to decide who's in the national playoff.
Right.
They beat Oregon, and they're going to have a chance to have a say with both Alabama, and I think they can beat Alabama. And Alabama will struggle against that defense. And who knows if that quarterback is lack of mobility now with Tua, if he can get away from that defensive front and make it through that game. So And Georgia's not a juggernaut on offense. They'll have trouble scoring. So, a turnover here or there, a mistake in the kicking game, and we know Auburn has got a good kicking game, that they can win one of those games or both of them. But if they lose them both, then I think Gus will, it's not going to be any fun for him there.
Okay, so then if you're Arkansas, why would you want Gus Malzahn, a guy who's an offensive coach, and it's been a bit since Auburn was able to get their offense out of second gear for a couple years now.
I think one of the things, as much as they struggled on offense, they've got some parts. And first of all, I think Gus can talk KJ Jefferson into being his quarterback. And that's Cam Jr. is what he is.
Mm-hmm.
And with those wide receivers, and you add a little bit more, and this offensive line is got some nice future in it. And especially if he can bring J.B. Grimes, who I think is a great offensive line coach. He's been at Arkansas twice before. So I think the future of that offense with the parts that they have offensively, and that's, that was what Chad Morris was, hanging his hat on, that, in a year or two it was going to be, like running the Clemson offense with Deshaun Watson. This is that kind of a talent, a generational talent. He wasn't ready to do everything in the passing game, but it's the kind of quarterback that Gus aches for. So, would you get the defense going? I mean, I don't know that they've got the parts on defense yet.
Mm-hmm.
In that, now, where Arkansas was on defensively is they could not pressure with the defensive end, could not cover at cornerback. That's death. It's they couldn't control the edge, and they couldn't stop anybody from throwing, and then they couldn't cover. So there's a lot of deficiencies at defense, and I know everybody says John Chavis was bad, and it's time to do something, but I don't know what defensive coach. I guarantee you Kevin Steele could step into that, and he'd struggle with that defense.
Clay, I've been on record before that I think Gus Malzahn would do well at Arkansas. Now, if you define the parameters of that, I think he would do well for Arkansas fans' expectations. But one of the things I would be concerned with is him recruiting high schools within the state, because at Shiloh Christian, at Springdale, I don't know about Hughes, but he used to run up the score on a lot of different high schools. And I know that when it comes to those type of relationships, there's not all the same coaches are still there, but a lot of people still remember that. And this is way down the road, if he eventually decided Auburn was not for him, he comes to Arkansas, do you think he would be able to recruit well enough inside Arkansas based on what he did coaching his past year?
See, I think Gus is a good recruiter, and I don't think he'd have a trouble with that. And first of all, Arkansas kids want to play at Arkansas, and I just can't see him throwing up a big zero recruiting in the state. I think that Chad Morris didn't know anybody in Arkansas, and he came in and sold himself as a former high school coach. That's what Gus is going to do. I guarantee you, Chad Morris went up the score on people when he was at Lake too, and he was still liked by coaches. I haven't heard too many coaches say, I don't want him because he ran up the score against me, because I think most of those coaches are not in coaching anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think young coaches would view it as a chance to, just like Chad Morris, he's going to be a guy that we can go up there and learn offense and defense from, and he'll help them. The key to recruiting is always assistant coaches, and I think he will be able to hire a good staff at Arkansas with the budget they're going to have, and he'll be all right. Now, that's been a little bit of a problem of late at Auburn as far as assistant coaches coming and going, but I think that part of it was there were coaches fearful because of job security. Thought he was going to leave and he wasn't going to stay, and whatever. But it's I can't imagine too many Arkansas coaches not being able to recruit at in the state of Arkansas.
Yeah, that was just kind of one of the things I was curious about. All right, Clay, we got about another minute with you. So you've been through a lot of these coaching searches before. Do you think this one with a relatively new athletic director that's entering year 2 of his tenure. Do you think this is going to be the most difficult one to sniff out who Arkansas is actually going to hire?
The way it usually happens, it is not. I mean, a good reporter generally probably isn't going to find out information at home. And, for instance, I broke the story that Jeff Long was going to be hired as athletic director. I got a wind of it through a friend of mine who was a friend of somebody at the Pittsburgh Gazette. And so it's oftentimes it's not what you do right in your own backyard. It's how you work your network, through college football and assistant coaches and former head coaches that are related to agents. And that's where you get your information more times than, say, a board of trustees member or somebody within the athletic department.
All right, Clay. Always appreciate you joining us, and especially for coming on for a second segment. And we'll look forward to doing it again next week.
Anytime, guys. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Got it. That's Clay Henry from Hogs Illustrated.
Get well, Ty.
Thanks,
Hogs
buddy. Sports. Yes. Get well, Ty. Save Ty. That's our hashtag that we're throwing around today. Well, that is 1 hour in the books. We are coming up to the hump of the week. I don't have a box score to crumple up, but I do have some things to change my mind. We'll get into that in the second hour as halftime continues, plus your calls and texts. 877-377-6963. Don't go anywhere. Halftime comes back after this.
Great camping weather is just around the corner, so at Breeden RV in Van Buren, we're having our year-end clearance sale right now. Get great deals on new RVs like travel trailers that start at $99.95 and fifth wheels starting under $30,000. Breeden RV is the only dealer that gives our new customers maintenance for life for free. We also have a great selection of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from. Now is the time to camp, and now is the time to let Breeden RV in Van Buren show you just how easy it can be. Breeden RV, your home for maintenance for life.
Oh, that's an RV.
You always get more at Orr.
We always put the customer first at Orr Chevrolet in Fort Smith. Since 1924, the Orr family of dealerships has grown based on one simple principle. Give the customer more money for their trades and give them a lower price on their new vehicle. It's a simple concept, really, but one that very few dealers honor anymore. Hey, we know you paid a lot of money for your vehicle, and Orr Chevrolet wants to pay you the maximum amount for it today. Then we'll give you an awesome price on a new Chevrolet. But we're not done giving you more. Included with any new vehicle sold. Or Chevy will also give you a lifetime powertrain warranty, 2 years of free maintenance, and free car washes for life. So come get a lower price and more money for your trade today at Orr Chevrolet on Auto Park Drive in Fort Smith and 24/7 at OrChevyFS.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You always get more at Orr.
The list of things I rely on is short. There's my recliner, the lawnmower, the kid sitter, and above all, Michelin tires. Get the tire that's ready to make every stop in every season. And for a limited time, get yours with a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith.
See MichelinMan.com promo for complete details. Offer valid between 11/13/2019 and 12/13/2019. Void where prohibited.
Right now, I'm holding a perfectly ice-cold Coors Light. You know how I know it's the perfect temperature? Because the mountain on the can is blue. And also, it's really cold. Every Coors Light is cold filtered, cold lagered, and cold packaged. Notice how many times I said cold? 3 times. It's that cold. So make sure the mountain on your can of Coors Light is blue, because that means it's ready to enjoy. 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
A clear sky tonight, bitterly cold temperatures as we drop down into the middle teens. When you factor in any winds, it's going to feel even colder. Lots of sunshine with us on Wednesday, our high in the upper 40s, and sunny skies on Thursday, mid-40s, north, low 50s, south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Weather is brought to you by OG&E Weatherization Program for Arkansas customers with homes at least 10 years old. Call 1-800-272-9741 for details or log on at OGE.com.
Good station. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bush and Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3. Touchdown! Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts. Who supports local teams? Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Broadcasting live from the Bud Light Studio.
I love Arkansas! I love everything here! Give me that thing here! Woo!
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Why did that happen in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
Dixon Street. It'll get you.
Streaming live from
Hit that line.
.com.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is Halftime.
Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry.
With Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Phil, you're one of the best baseball announcers in the country, and Ty, you're one of the best up-and-coming young talents in the broadcasting industry. You really do your homework.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown.
How about that Heisman, Mark Jones?
How do you like it?
Wide open again. All right, hold on. It's almost halftime.
Halftime on a Wednesday. I don't have a box score to crumple up. Ty Richardson is still sick. Everything up is down, everything left is right, everything good is bad right now, Ty. I don't feel like myself. And it's more because you don't feel good. I don't have a box score to crumple up. And I don't know what to do with myself right now. I guess I'll just, co-host this show for the next 56 minutes or so. And my hands are still cold, too. You have this thing, some people have this thing, I don't know exactly what it's called, where your hands just stay cold no matter what. In temperatures like this, in this bachelor pad in Fayetteville, in which the stupid the thermostat, I was about to say the thing that controls the temperature, the thermostat turns off if you're not inside the apartment for an hour. So good luck when temperatures are in the 20s. Like, you walk into this place and temperatures are 60 degrees. And I figure, well, I guess they got to keep the rent low somehow, and it's by letting my fingers get cold as bone, cold to the bone.
I know a place you could put them where it'll keep them warm.
Well, I'm not putting that, but, I thought that was 2 pillows.
Your live stream's only from, your chest up, so you're good if you want to do that. So.
Well, I can sit on my hands. That'll work. I guess that will work. 877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino hotline. Today is 93 days until baseball opening day at Baum-Walker Stadium. It's also the start of early signing period. So some NLIs are getting signed. I saw Mike Neighbors, Arkansas women's basketball coach, tweet out that they'll be making an announcement of their new family members, as he said it, later on in the day to allow the incoming players a chance to enjoy their announcements and enjoy what they're doing for the rest of the day and then make the big news of it later. So, this is like, I know it's not, football signing period, but basketball is signing. I saw plenty of, if you just click on the National Signing Day hashtag, you can see, all these soccer players, track athletes, and baseball players are signing their early letters of intent. So what school recruits better than Arkansas when it comes to basketball, when it comes to baseball right now?
Ooh, I know.
You got one?
Yeah, none.
None, that's right. You could put, I think it's really difficult to quantify baseball recruiting rankings for many reasons. Top of the list is you never know who's going to the majors or who's getting drafted and going to play professional baseball versus those who now decide to go to college. And it's just like any other sport, especially with kids who are moving into college. You just don't know if anybody's really going to reach the potential that they have. But, really, when you look at recruiting rankings for baseball, the thought to me is like anybody that's in the top 5 really could have theoretically the top recruiting class in the country. Mm-hmm. And Arkansas right now is ranked for the 2020 incoming class. That's not this upcoming season's class. It's next year's class, ranks as the top recruiting class in the country, according to Perfect Game. D1 Baseball has them a little bit lower than that. But again, if you're anywhere in the top 5, then you can make a case that you have the top recruiting class in the country. So right now Arkansas has 19 commits for baseball, which is more than anybody in the top 12 with the exception of Texas Tech, and they've got 22 players committed. But 8 of those 19 are in Perfect Game's top 100. So those would be guys like Mason Wynn, who's a two-way player, guy that's throwing 98 miles an hour right now as a high school senior. He's out of Kingwood, Texas. Caden Wallace is a guy that could be a cornerstone at third base if he elects to go to college. He's out of Greenbrier. You got a switch-hitting shortstop in Robert Moore out of the Kansas City area. A couple of hard throwers, Markavian Hentz, a right-handed pitcher out of Pine Bluff, also throwing in the mid-90s right now. And the list kind of goes on and on. The question is, I mean, and this is one of the things, some of these kids have been playing together in the summers for a long time, and the prevailing thought is, one, college baseball is now at a place where it has all the technology that you'll be using in Major League Baseball too, and a lot of that stuff isn't readily available for minor league players at every stop yet. So the SEC is like a mini major league in the way the game is coached. That's why you're seeing college coaches get looks from major league teams for open coaching positions. And I think that, I mean, it's tough to prognosticate this or make any prediction, but the bulk of that recruiting class is going to come to Arkansas. That's just my thought. These kids have played together. They know each other. They want to win a national championship. They want to do it at Arkansas and then go to your professional career next. So that's really, really exciting to even be talking about this stuff in November instead of a football coaching search.
And, Phil, while one class rises for Arkansas baseball, the Arkansas football class is just getting depleted by the minute. Darren Turner out of Memphis, the wide receiver, just decommitted recently. It seems like every day there's one or two Arkansas commits that decide, I'm going to move on. And I think Nikki talked about it earlier this week, that some have come to the idea that depending on the new head coaches, they could still see their commitment through and go to Arkansas. But that just shows you where the two programs are right now. The fact that Arkansas baseball has potentially the number one recruiting class according to Perfect Game, and according to 24/7 Sports and Rivals, Arkansas is not going to even have a top 50 football class if it continues to be this way. They could be outside the top 75, Phil.
So I'm guessing that's why Dave Van Hoort didn't answer my text from this morning, is that he's got bigger things to worry about, which is getting kids to sign over the next week. I wanted to ask him if he ever thought that college teams would be using technology to steal signs. Much of this story that's come out from the Houston Astros from the 2017 season, Mike Fiers, their former pitcher, talked openly yesterday about how the Astros had a camera position in center field during the 2017 championship season and a whole system of how to relay the signs and the pitch that was coming to the hitter, which just, when you're able to, when you know the pitch that's coming, that's like half of baseball right there.
I'd seen a bunch of Bregman and Houston Astro highlights on my feed, and I had no idea what it was. Why do people keep doing this?
The Astros were cheating. But this is also, look, this isn't anything new. It's just a matter of using technology now in a way that other teams are probably doing as well. And Major League Baseball this last season essentially put like a Major League Baseball, an MLB policeman inside every clubhouse so that those people running the replay feeds inside each clubhouse could not relay signs or the pitches that were coming up to the hitter somehow. And they had to do it this year because this had been going nuts. The Red Sox got in trouble. The Astros are going to get in trouble about this. They even put out a statement that almost admitted what they did. They're going to lose draft picks, is my guess about this, after the investigation is put forth. But look, I mean, I sat down to Nikki Chabanel yesterday at the basketball game, and we're talking a little bit about that and say, look, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And maybe that's a little simplistic, but this kind of stuff has been going on for decades. The 1951 Giants did it, for crying out loud. The year of the homer heard round the world, Bobby Thompson's home run off Ralph Branca. He knew the pitch that was coming because the Giants had a guy in the office building in center field, over 500 feet away, with high-power binoculars and a switching system that would tell the dugout the pitch that was coming. This is like 60 years ago. And it's just the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's just a matter of the technology is different. I wanted to ask Dave if he thought, because you have a lot of the same technology in SEC ballparks now, I wondered if you maybe have the same issue in college baseball. Because if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right, Ty?
Speaking of cheating, do you know who lost last night at home to Evansville?
Speaking of cheating.
Kentucky.
There was a roar that went up through the crowd at Bud Walton during the second half when that went final.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I wish I was there for that. But, yeah, Kentucky loses at home to Evansville. I forget the former player that's coaching Evansville that went to Kentucky and played there, but it was great last night. John and I watching that, we were thrilled.
Halftime brought to you by Breeden RV and Power Sports in Van Buren. They're not cheating. They're giving you great deals on new RVs. Travel trailers starting at $99.95, fifth wheels under $30,000, and all new customers at Breeden RV and Power Sports get maintenance for life for free. They got a great selection also of pre-camp trailers and RVs to choose from, and Breeden RV can show you how easy it can be to enjoy the outdoor life and camping weather. That's Breeden RV in Van Buren. Breeden RVs for more information. 877-377-6963 is our Cherokee Casino hotline. We will be right back after the break on ESPN Arkansas.
Good coaches win. Great coaches cover. You're listening to Halftime. This is the Morning Rush.
The lines are getting ridiculous in the bathroom. And, people who don't want to spend money on water, they go in and refill their cups inside of the sink. And it's tap water.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help out the people out there.
I'm not refilling my water bottle in the bathroom sink at the stadium. I'm sorry. No.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3.
Eagle Crest Golf Course is open, and winter rates are now in effect. Just $35 to enjoy Eagle Crest Golf Course, card included. Winter rates are back, and Eagle Crest is ready for you. Lush zoysia fairways, beautiful bent grass greens, and the best views in the River Valley. Just $35, card included. So get your golf buddies together and head to Eagle Crest Golf Course. Winter rates just $35. Eagle Crest Golf Course, Highway 64, just east of Alma.
Full-time farmers, hobby farmers, and landowners, your time is important. Make the most out of that time with a brand new Branson tractor from Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith. With tractors from 19 to 105 horsepower, we have a tractor that will fit your needs. Ask Bush Machine and Tractor about their special financing options and free loader rebates. Bush Machine and Tractor in Fort Smith is Arkansas's #1 Branson dealer. Check their inventory at bushtractor.com.
Looking for a bit of cowboy flavor? Introducing Hardee's Southwest Patty Melt. A hearty sandwich with all the taste of the great American Southwest. We're talking a hotter, juicier, thick burger made with 100% black Angus beef, pepper jack cheese, zesty Santa Fe sauce, and enough pickled jalapenos to give it a kick. If it got any more authentic, we'd have to serve it with a cactus and a side of tumbleweeds. The Southwest Patty Melt. Now at Hardee's. Available for a limited time after regular breakfast hours at participating Hardee's. Hotter and juicier beef patty as compared to the Hardee's original beef patty.
The largest sporting event in the state of Arkansas will happen Saturday, November 9th, and it's not college football. And Jelco Outdoors is getting you ready for opening day of Modern Gun Deer Season, a tradition like none other. Mossy Oak Blaze Vest, only $2.99. Pursuit Gear Camo Insulated Jacket or Bib, $49.99. Dry Shot TVD Camo Insulated Rubber Boots, only $119.99. River's Edge Grip Sticks, $14.99. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Is your home at least 10 years old and served by OG&E? OG&E is offering Arkansas customers a free weatherization program to increase your comfort and lower your bills. A trained crew will perform an energy audit at no cost to you, and if your home qualifies, our crews will install measures that will save you money. The services provided through this program are absolutely free to qualifying homes. If you could benefit from free home weatherization improvements, call OG&E at 1-800-272-9741. That's 1-800-272-9741.
It's a November to remember at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Save up to $14,000 off on remaining 2019 GMC Sierra SLTs, featuring the new body style and tons of new features, and now $14,000 off. Or get the new 2019 Buick Encore, the hottest selling Buick in the market, only $18,999. It's a November to remember. Save up to $14,000 off at Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your one-stop shop for all repairs. Paintless Dent Repair, door dings, unsightly dents, and hail damage repair, all repaired to like new conditions. With over 1 million repaired vehicles with satisfied customers, Michael Littleton is the expert in paintless repair. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, conveniently located 3 miles from the Arcoma exit off Highway 112. Or call 479-461-9764. your number one Arkansas fan.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Davis, first down, a bunch more. Here's one of those types of scores as he'll take it the distance. Touchdown, Arkansas. 62 yards.
Rolling until 2 o'clock here on halftime. 877-377-6963. Our Cherokee Casino hotline. Phil Elson here with Ty Richardson. We'll be joined by Bill King in 15 minutes and get into the college football playoff stuff and also get the king of college football's opinion on either a coach or the sort of coach that would fit in as the new head man at the University of Arkansas. But we want to take your calls and texts all throughout the show. So we got an interesting text here from Devin in Boonville, and I think this gives a window into probably how a lot of fans feel about the idea of Gus Malzahn even being looked at as the head coach. He says he didn't want Gus the last time. Now he heard Clay in our segment at the end of the first hour and thought that Clay made sense, and he changed his mind. So but he still has hard feelings about the way that Gus and his wife played the U of A the last go-around, and these are Devin's words. At this point, though, it'd take him back if he could get Arkansas even back to mediocrity. So I do think, Ty, there are a lot of fans who still aren't fans of Gus Malzahn that have hard feelings for him, but you'd be fine if he at least comes back and starts winning some football games.
Can someone answer me the question why they don't like Gus Malzahn?
Well, I think they feel that what happened with the whole Springdale 5
and everyone sided with Houston Nutt on that
and all of that.
Everyone sided with Houston Nutt on that.
Yeah, and look, I also think there are people. Look, there are not. I don't know a lot of people who are Razorback fans and Arkansas State fans at the same time. Those folks up in Jonesboro, they are no fans of Gus Malzahn. I think with some people there's a feeling of a trust factor.
I just think there's a lot more that should have been blamed on Houston Nutt that wasn't. Gus Malzahn took the brunt of the criticism when it came to that relationship deteriorating. Therefore, Arkansas fans felt like that Houston Nutt was in the right, Gus Malzahn was in the wrong, and I would say 95-ish% of fans have sided with Houston Nutt after that debacle. Is that fair, or is that too high, you think?
I think so. And then isn't it interesting, though? I mean, here it is. It's what? It's 11 years, 12 years later, and both names are being floated as potentially the next coach at Arkansas. Neither of them very realistic, I would say, too.
And here's the thing. I'm a Little Rock guy. I should be the one that loves Houston Nutt because of his adoration for War Memorial playing there, the conversations and stuff. And I like Houston Nutt. I think he's an incredible motivator. I think that he probably had more talent and should have won more, but I thought that he was able to get some of these Arkansas kids who were passed over by other schools and turn them into true Razorbacks, which I think has since been Bobby did a pretty good job there, but I just feel like that so many people just kind of gloss over what Houston Nutt did when it came to somewhat, not torpedoing the program because that was more on Brett Bielema and Chad Morris and Bobby P., but I think people overlook his transgressions and they only see the good stuff when it comes to Houston Dale Nutt. And it's irritating because I think
they see the fiery locker room speeches. They see bring that wood, and you got to have number 5 in your Heisman, Mark Jones, Mark May, all of that. That's the stuff people hear. We do have a call, though, that wants to talk some basketball, so that's a good thing. We are taking your calls and texts up till 2 o'clock today, but we can to the next segment because Bill King is on with us. 877-377-6963 is the Cherokee Casino hotline. Jimmy in Conway, you are changing the conversation of basketball. Thank you very much. What's up?
Hey, guys, I'm loving the new coach's enthusiasm. Well, that's something we've needed for a long time. He gets me fired up just watching him. But you've had a few days, Phil. Did you find out anything about why the center court is not as it should be?
I love that.
I really want to answer. Now, I heard Hunter Yurachek in an interview say when he hired on, he went around the state, and he said the number one question he was asked is, why is the Slobbering Hog not at center court? he said that.
Are you sure it was that? It wasn't? Are you bringing Coca-Cola back? Those seem to be the two ones that go together.
Hey, in the interview, he said that's the number one question. He said, believe it or not, that's what people want to know. So I don't understand why it's not.
I did not
give me
ask
an
that.
answer,
I did not ask that question. I did have a passing moment with Hunter Yurachek.
You saw him in the bathroom.
I
You didn't say anything.
I did not. I didn't know if the bathroom was the moment for that question.
Sure.
And it was just a little bit uncomfortable, to also be in the restroom with the athletic director at the same time. So I was just, hi, nice to see you, and move on. And you know what, Jimmy? The next time I see Hunter Yurachek, whether it's in the bathroom or out, I will ask that question for you, okay?
You are a good man. I got a football tidbit here too.
Shoot.
If it wasn't for Houston Nuts, Gus very well could still be coaching high school football.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Frank, really, right? I mean, really,
yeah.
Houston Nutt would not have hired Gus Malzahn if he wasn't forced to. It was Frank Broyles that brought Gus Malzahn into college football. And oh, by the way, you know who hired Gus for his first high school head coaching job? Jimmy Dykes at Shiloh
AD.
Christian.
Wow.
He was the AD at Shiloh.
Hey, one correction on that. He coached at, I think, Hughes High School prior to that, but then an actual big-time job was at Shiloh. So, because I remember reading the story or watching the 30 for 30 or something, that Gus used to have to cut Hughes's grass. Phil, that was one of the jobs as being the head coach. You had to mow the field, which is pretty incredible because I know he's not mowing Jordan Air Stadium.
Even if they had grass at Jordan, I don't know if they have grass or not. Yeah, he wouldn't be mowing it.
What about Kevin Kelly?
I don't think that's realistic at all.
I think we're gonna have to, Jimmy. Man, you had such a good call until that question.
It was a great call. There's no way. There's no way. And look, I think Kevin Kelly eventually may make a good college football coach, but you are not going from Pulaski Academy to be the head man at the University of Arkansas. There's just no way.
Listen, as a guy that went to Ladar Christian and has the utmost respect for what Kevin Kelly has done for Pulaski Academy, state championship after state championship, there are very few names that everyone seems to know in Arkansas high school football. Barry Lunny Sr., Rick Jones, Kevin Kelly. You could list Gus Malzahn at one point. He is in that category, but he does not deserve to be in the conversation as the head football coach of the U of A. Listen, his mechanisms, his theories, everything he does as a football coach is absolutely incredible. He has changed not just Arkansas high school football, but high school football in general with his percentages, everything that goes into his thought. But you cannot jump from a head coach in high school, not even at the highest level. PA's 5A. They're not 7A. They're 5A. And then expect to take on the responsibilities, the due diligence, everything that is involved with being a head coach at the University of Arkansas. I don't know why his name keeps getting mentioned. As much as I like him and as tremendous as a coach as he is, no business being mentioned as the Arkansas head football coach. None whatsoever.
Jimmy, appreciate the phone call. I think Bobby Petrino is more of a realistic idea than Kevin Kelly, and that's no knock on Kevin Kelly. Fantastic football coach, great guy, really a fantastic interview too. But there's such a difference in the level of bigness going from even an FCS program to the University of Arkansas. And I think he would have an eye for talent, but it's not anybody that's ready to be a head coach at Arkansas, not yet.
And maybe I need to distinguish what I said. I wouldn't have as much of a problem if you brought in a spread coach and you brought him as an OC or some type of assistant. That I wouldn't have a problem because I think, again, his football mind is incredible. But to take on, all you'd have to do is the Arkansas head football coach. We just saw a former high school coach in Chad Morris that was not ready for the responsibilities and everything that was involved with being the Arkansas head coach, Phil. And I'm not saying that it would work out the same way if Kevin was named the head coach at Arkansas. I just don't see it happening. And again, I think it's not necessarily disrespectful, but I think it's just so out of the realm of possibility. It has no business being mentioned.
I think in some cases it's people that have the idea that there might be an out-of-the-box hire, and so that is that's the front of your mind. The most famous high school coach in the state, and one of the most famous high school coaches in the country when it comes right down to it. Next up on the Cherokee Casino Hotline is Ryan in Hot Springs. Ryan, thanks for calling. What's going on?
I just wanted to pile on this Malzahn thing. My biggest deal, though, is, and I cringe every time he does, is when you see the players faking injuries. Like, I really don't want to see that at Arkansas. I mean, he's done it to Arkansas 2 or 3 times, and then I see one of the players did it against LSU, and I just, like I said, I cringe every time I do it. And I just thought I'd say that and hear what y'all thoughts were, and I'll hang up.
All right, appreciate that call, Ryan. He was referring to injuries at Auburn, and I'm not quite sure exactly what he means with this.
Was he talking about Boobie? Sorry, I was answering the other call. Was he talking about Boobie Whitlow getting injured earlier this year? What did he mention?
Standing around looking at kids after they get injured, or is it the pace of the game or something that might be a little trouble keeping up with? I wasn't quite sure what he meant there. So, hey, next up is Robert in Fort Smith. Robert, got a couple of minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, real quick, guys. Everyone keeps bringing up this little right there wish list. Well, Santa was coming to town. I wish I could have Urban or Bob Stoops, but I know it's not going to happen. But I'll take either one up. Have a good one, guys.
All right, appreciate that. Hey, there's the idea of being realistic, and none of the big name coaches are coming here. And look, Brett Bielema was not a big name, but he also was somebody that was established and had established a winning program for a while at Wisconsin. But he wasn't a big name. The big names are not coming to Arkansas. There's just no doubt about that. We'll go to Bill King in a moment. If you own a business that needs more security or just needs more curb appeal, then a new fence from the Fence Man can give you both. The Fence Man specializes in custom installations. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it for over 40 years. Gates or controlled access card readers, the Fence Man will be there for a quick, no-obligations quote. Call 479-782-3936 and ask for Henry. That's the Fence Man, a division of Quantum Property Services. Well, we'll continue the conversation about possible next head football coach at Arkansas. Much more with the king of college football talk, Bill King, next.
The best midday show in the Natty State. You're listening to Halftime.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is the only place to watch the Hogs. Watch every game at Joe's. Enjoy half-price apps and taps during the game. And with TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat. Half-price appetizers like brisket nachos, Mexican pizza, 10-layer dip, or Joe's humongous sampler platter. All half-price. And all beers on tap are half-price. Watch every Hog game at Joe's. Half-price apps and taps during every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps.
Turn November into Yes-Vember at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren. Hi, everyone. David Neal here inviting you to come see our best inventory yet. It's Black Friday all month long with savings up to $13,000 on a new 2019 Silverado Z71. That's over 25% off. We have new Chevrolet Blazers with up to $6,000 off. When it comes time to find your new vehicle, visit us at Road Chevrolet in Van Buren, exit 2A off of I-540. We have prices you'll love and people you can trust. Road Chevrolet, find new roads.
See dealer for details.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Football Edition. This is how you say, game tonight. Bring Bud Light. Fantasy fees are due. That's it for today.
Brewed with no corn syrup. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
At Chambers Bank, our Arkansas roots grow deep, and you can trust us as your partner for every banking need. From a simple checking account to your first home loan, whatever you need, big or small, we are here for you. With 18 convenient branches throughout the state and a full suite of online banking options, we will always be available when you need us. Family owned in Arkansas since 1930, Chambers is your full-service community bank. Bank with trust at Chambers Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 631520.
Hello, everybody. You're looking live at Fansville, a college football utopia.
Fansville.
Where the rivers flow with ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
Delicious.
Where every day is Saturday and everyone's a fan, even babies.
Fan babies.
days.
And the seasons never change because the only season is college football season. Get a taste of Fansville this fall during a college football game near you. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville. Grab some today.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Supercuts, who supports local teams. Supercuts. We're super into the movement.
Yeah, they got it going on.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
Back to pass, Grovey. Quarterback draw. He's got a hole. He may go. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Time to talk with the king of college football talk, Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio host. Joins us every Wednesday, and we always appreciate 10 minutes of Bill's time. Bill, how you doing on this Wednesday?
I'm going to say it again. Whoever has to search for highlights for Arkansas football, if they didn't get a raise this week, somebody's heads needs to roll.
Do you realize Ty has, we didn't have any new highlights for like a month for our comebacks. And then did you put one of the Rakeem Boyd runs from this past Saturday, Ty?
I might have. Maybe, potentially.
A highlight from the day that ended the football coach's reign. That tells you what's going on, right, Bill?
I just go back to Lou Holtz era and stuff like that.
Well, and obviously Holtz was a great hire at Arkansas for the most part. And the question here, it's not, why was Chad Morris fired? We all know why. The team had become a complete joke in every way. The question is, what kind of a coach works best at a program that is undergoing its third rebuild, which essentially is the same rebuild for these last 7 years? Do you think a more established coach works? Do you think an up-and-comer works here? What qualities does Arkansas need in the next head coach?
Well, let me say this first. I think anybody who got the job this time, if they're going to pull the plug that quick, would have been doomed. Now, does Chad Morris have equity like an established coach has? No, so maybe they would have pulled the plug on somebody else. But, boy, that's a good one. I think, first of all, you're going to have to – they already just tried this. You got to get an offensive guy that can keep up with the new style and the offenses, and let's just keep it to the SEC West, what you're going against there. And you got to have a recruiting machine, man, and you got to be able to sell Arkansas as a brand, and it's not real attractive right now. And it really doesn't have an indigenous recruiting area other than the state, and the state can't support it. So you got to have a recruiting fool and another offensive mind and somebody who's willing to gut this thing out, man. And I don't mean Chad Morris, but you're going to have to stick with somebody.
Well, and it was obvious that there were too many things that had happened, too many things said that were never fulfilled by Chad Morris, that the third year just wasn't going to happen here. You're in a vicious cycle, though, and you know how difficult it can be to get out of this cycle, especially getting rid of a coach in the second year, and that's after the last coach was here for 5 years. What I think people are nervous about right now, Bill, is that Arkansas football, which does have a proud tradition, might be in a position that they just can't get out of for a very long time.
Couple things I've noted with decades in this league, studying it since the late 70s probably. You get behind in this league, and let's just again say the SEC West, and you're a non-brand. Arkansas is not a brand anymore. It's not an attractive football brand. So you're not getting people just because of the SEC's on your lapel or you're Arkansas. That's not happening. You get behind in the toughest division in college football. And right now, I would say their personnel is at as low an ebb as I can ever remember. It's really hard to dig out of. I don't care if Vince Lombardi and Bear Bryant came back to earth and said, we're going to take it over. We're going to step in here. Whoever gets that's got a hell of a thing ahead of them.
So, Bill, let's move on to some college football playoff stuff here. You've got your top four. LSU feels like a given they're in, even with a loss in an SEC championship game. And you don't see a loss over the next 3 games either for that LSU Tiger team. It feels like Ohio State Penn State on the schedule, maybe Minnesota in the Big Ten championship. To me, it feels Ohio State's in. Clemson's in. They're in. Right now, it feels to me like you're fighting for the 4th spot.
The only debate's number 4, correct. And I would have Alabama in there right now. And I got a lot of brushback on that this morning. Not a lot of people agreed. They just lost at home. Now, their defense isn't what it needs to be. It's a big mess. They made a bad hire there with Pete Golding. But they lost it by 5 points at home with a quarterback who's probably 70%. And a quarterback who, even though he threw for, 400 yards, wasn't right. And he's still limping around today. I think there's some credit due there compared to everybody else. And if they went out, which would include an Auburn win, I'd probably have them at number 4. Now, I don't know that the committee's going to do that, but that's what I would do. But, boy, you should have heard the brushback this morning on the show. There's a big anti-Alabama sentiment out there right now.
Talking college football with Bill Keene on the Cherokee Casino Hotline. So, Bill, if you think they're at number 4, there's obviously the possibility, if certain things work out the way they do, that they could rematch again. What college football playoff matchup right now is the most intriguing to you?
Well, I think it's anything between those 3. But here's the one, and Clemson is in a bad league, so they get dissed a little bit. That's a damn good football team, and you're right, they'll be in. But I think LSU, Ohio State. Now, Ohio State's more balanced than LSU. They play better defensively. They're also not playing anybody. Just played Maryland, now they get Rutgers. They're a 52-point favorite on the road in Piscataway, New Brunswick. But I still think they're more balanced. Chase Young will be back after this Saturday's game. That's been announced, and it didn't matter anyways to date. He might be the best player. So I think LSU, just the shootout possibilities between all those athletes, and Justin Fields versus Joe Burrow. And, of course, Joe Burrow was an Ohio guy. He's an Ohio State guy. He was there. That would be a pretty cool matchup.
So you're talking about Ohio State LSU, which former Buckeye Joe Burrow going against his former team. That'd be great. Is that more intriguing than Hurts Tua?
Well, yes, right now it is. I think it's more. I think there's more sex appeal to it. Okay. I do, and I don't think Oklahoma's getting in. I mean, Oklahoma first. Obviously, they got to win out. That might mean beating Baylor twice, and which I think they can do. But I don't. Boy, as of right now, I think the Big 12 and the Pac-12 could be left out. My only debate, I'm playing mental volleyball here, is will the committee politically, and I've talked to you guys about this, withstand the critique they're going to get for putting 2 SEC teams in. And they may stay away from that. Now, they'll never admit it. They'll come up with some numbers as to why they did this. But I don't know if they have the guts to do this again.
Which is to put 2 SEC teams in the playoff, even if it seems fairly obvious that with the Pac-12. Look, Oregon and Utah, there are no signature victories for either of those schools this season or in the future. Unless they play each other in the championship game, and then that's just one game. There isn't a compelling case out of the Big 12 or the Pac-12 for anybody in those conferences to get there. Even like Oklahoma, I mean, they'd have to jump over 6 teams, and I mean maybe Oklahoma State, Baylor, those are sexy enough wins. I mean, is there a chance that Oklahoma could get back in the playoff?
Oh, yeah, there's a chance. Now, here's an intriguing scenario. I'll be quick here. Let's say Alabama wins through and LSU wins through, but they lose to Georgia in the title game. What do you do then? I guess Alabama would be out, but would you put LSU and Georgia in, the league champ?
Wow, yeah. This is what's so much fun about these polls. Let me give a quick question here about LSU moving forward. I mean, in this year, they've taken such a giant step forward because they took the reins off Joe Burrow. Burrow's gone. He's in the NFL next year. Can LSU still put together a sort of offense in the future that they've had this year?
A semblance of it. Now, they got to keep Joe Brady, the 30-year-old whiz kid, and there's talk that he's going to get an NFL-type new contract at LSU, meaning NFL pay, to be the passing game coordinator, well over $1 million. And I think they'll do that. They've got the money, and it's smart. And he's a big reason why they're as good as they are offensively. And, of course, Joe Burrow is, too. But you look at it, guys, they're loaded at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. And I guess the only superstar that wasn't really highly recruited is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was a 3-star local kid who they all told was probably too small and not good enough, and he just dominated this last game. Man, they're loaded, guys. I think the future's bright. I wouldn't have thought that 2 years ago.
All right, Bill. Well, when we talk to you next week, we'll have some more rankings to poll over once again. Always appreciate your time.
Okay, boys. Thank you.
That is Bill King. You can hear him 6 to 9. Nashville Sports Radio, the king of college football talk.
I could just see Bill in his quote-unquote laboratory just like coming up with all these different theories. This is what's going to happen if this team wins out. This is when I mean, there are so many different scenarios that could play out with the rest of the college football season. It's going to be a wild finish like it has been the last couple of years, Phil.
You know, you can tell when somebody really, truly loves college football to the point where he's referring to sex appeal for a certain matchup. That's a guy that is steeped in the traditions of college football. And that is Bill King. He'll be with us again next week. 877-377-6963, the Cherokee Casino Hotline. We can take your calls and texts up until the top of the hour. A cherry on the top of halftime next.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson. Follow them on Twitter at Phil Elson PXP and at Ty Sports Radio.
The list of things I rely on is short. There's my recliner, the lawnmower, the kid sitter, and above all, Michelin tires. Get the tire that's ready to make every stop in every season. And for a limited time, get yours with a $70 reward card after submission when you buy a set of 4 new Michelin passenger or light truck tires. Your Michelin tires and savings are waiting for you at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 at exit 14 in Fort Smith.
See MichelinMan.com, promo for complete details. Offer valid between 11/13/2019 and 12/13/2019. Void where prohibited.
Your fence is more than a decoration. It's a reflection of its owner. Choosing a fence company should be done with integrity and quality in mind. The Fence Man has been providing fencing and security solutions for over 40 years. An in-house custom iron and gate department, plus an access control department. The Fence Man offers services other companies aren't equipped to do. The Fence Man, fencing and security solutions to protect what matters most. 479-782-3936 or online at thefencemancompany.com, a division of Quantum Property Services.
Do you hear that Coors Light being poured? It's the perfect temperature. How can I tell just based on the sound? I can't. But I can see that the mountain on the can is blue. And when the mountain is blue, your Coors Light is perfectly cold. Coors Light is cold lagered for a crisper taste, cold filtered for brightness and clarity, and cold packaged for peak refreshment. Doesn't that sound good? 2019 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Did someone say, I'm hungry? Visit 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge on the Avenue. Try the new panini sandwiches like the Chicken Pyro or the Cubana or the signature 906 wings. Jumbo wings roasted with honey bacon jam. Want some spice? Try the black and blue wings. Experience their salads, flatbreads, coffees and desserts, top shelf wines and liquors, premium beers, world-class cigars, all in an atmosphere that feels less like a lounge and more like a destination. Sample, indulge, escape. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Treat your appetite on the Avenue.
Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative is excited to introduce Wave Rural Connect. They're bringing state-of-the-art high-speed fiber internet plus TV and phone services right into the homes of all members. If you're an Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative member, go to waveruralconnect.com to sign up. That's waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC. Arkansas Valley Electric Cooperative and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Fall is here, and at Frank Bro Furniture in November, now is the time to buy. Come in and take advantage of our many made-in-the-USA products. Lift chairs, we have them. Sectionals, reclining sofas, and loves, we have them. Bedroom furniture and mattresses, we have them. We also carry a variety of appliances and TVs. In November, come in and receive 10% off on any purchase. Ask us about our financing programs. We have several options that will meet your needs. Only at Frank Rowe Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Protection with possibilities. Have past losses made you cautious about taking on risk with your investments? Are you concerned that your savings are not generating the returns you need? If you are interested in protecting your money and capturing potential investment growth, contact Brad Lewis at United Financial Advisors at 242-7466 or ufadvisors.net to see whether market-linked CDs may be the right solution for you.
Securities and advisory service offered through Royal Alliance Associates, member FINRA, SIPC. United Financial Advisors is a marketing destination.
Unlimited personal group training at the Fort Smith Athletic Club. Personal group training is a great way to create accountability for your fitness while improving mobility, endurance, and overall wellness. Reach your fitness goals faster with personal group training. Only $60 a month. Call Mike Johnson at 479-926-0193. These workouts are high intensity and get results in under an hour. Only $60 a month. Call for class schedules and details. 479-926-0193. Results happen here at the Fort Smith Athletic Club.
ESPN 95.3. Halftime is brought to you by Coors Light, made to chill. You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Ty Richardson.
And off Hillis. Hillis. Peyton Hillis being chased but will not be caught. 65-yard touchdown.
Well, there's perfect timing sometimes that you didn't plan out. As you hear a highlight of Peyton Hillis running a touchdown. ESPN's website right now, on the front page of the website, the headline is, Remember Peyton Hillis? And they're doing a list of one-hit wonders for all 32 NFL teams. And the photo is Hillis flexing his muscles. And goodness, I'd forgotten how big Peyton Hillis was. I mean, the biceps, those are 24-inch pythons. The forearms, he's got the Popeye forearms. And it was 1 year, right, that he owned the NFL, gets on the cover of Madden.
Madden curse.
Got injured, and that was that.
Yeah, kid out of Conway, stud at Arkansas. The play that you heard was the 50-something yard touchdown on the road against LSU, triple OT 2007 game. He was fun to watch, man. And there's just, it goes to show you how much talent was in that backfield with him, Felix Jones, and Darren McFadden. I mean, all three guys there. Just incredible, man. Just incredible.
1,654 rushing and receiving yards with 13 touchdowns in that memorable season, 2010, with the Cleveland Browns. Other news, though, involving football, the Jets announcing that Adam Gase will return as the coach for 2020. That says something when you're making that announcement right around the halfway point of this season. Tells you how bad things are for the Jets. And Chase Young, the projected #1 overall pick in next year's NFL draft and the star defensive lineman at Ohio State, he is going to miss one more game and will be back for Penn State. So he misses Rutgers and Maryland, games that Ohio State could win probably without even playing anybody on the defensive line. And then he comes back for their biggest game of the season and gets back not just for Penn State but also Michigan.
I think that grinds a lot of Arkansas fans' gears because they've had to deal with this before, i.e. 2011 Sugar Bowl, Terrell Pryor, the linebacker who picked off Ryan Mallett's passes, they're driving, whose name's escaping me, and 3 other players. They were going to serve their suspensions next year. What happened? They forgoed those their senior year, went on to the NFL. And it's just frustrating because it seems like blue bloods like Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Clemson, basketball-wise, Kentucky, Duke, North Carolina, there's always lesser punishments divvied out to these schools when it seems like when Arkansas needs a break from the NCAA or other middle-tier schools, they don't get it.
And also Nick Saban talking in the weekly SEC Coaches Teleconference, says what he's been saying really for the last 3 weeks. Tua Tagovailoa, game-time decision for this Saturday against Mississippi State.
Phil, by the way, did you also see what Barry Lunny, the exchange between Barry Lunny Jr. and Bob Holt during the SEC teleconference this morning? It was fantastic.
No, I was not listening.
Our friend Bob Holt. Now I wouldn't listen either. Tom just put this out on Twitter.
Bob's all effort, by the way. He's not feeling well. I hope when we have him on tomorrow, he's feeling a little better.
Barry said, on the ice the other night, I think I skidded for like 12 miles while I was on the phone, but thankfully I kept it straight and we didn't have a second interim coach. Bob replied, maybe you should not talk on the phone while you're driving. Oh, man. He's just so like his humor is so dry, and he doesn't mean to be funny the majority of the time, speaking to Bob, but he just is. Like, he's so great. And again, Bob's been we're very fortunate to have him on Thursdays at 12:30, sometimes 1:30, depending on his schedule. But he's been as kind of a guy since I joined sports media when I was in college, and just a good old-fashioned dude. We just give him a hard time about being a Mizzou grad, though, Phil.
All right, Ty, let's get into what we want to do here. It's late in the show here on a Wednesday, and I got one. I don't think I'll change your mind. I wonder if you'll change mine.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, how you doing?
He won't sell anybody out to buy his future.
How can you be so obtuse? What did you call me? Obtuse? Is it deliberate?
Son, you are forgetting yourself.
Change my mind.
Amazingly, the biggest topic on the show yesterday was Ty's illness, his virus. You got a cold, essentially, is what it is.
I think that's what it is. It hadn't been diagnosed yet, but I'm just assuming that. I mean, it's got sore throat, coughing, runny nose. I mean, that's pretty clear, right?
So, I mean, I feel like we're going to do this change my mind, but it's more like change my health. How to get young Ty Richardson healthy once again. 877-377-6963. Good for texts right now for the next 6 minutes to play doctor for Ty Richardson. So here's what you're supposed to do. You feed a cold, you starve a fever. You're not running a fever, and you love to eat. So this is right down your alley, my friend. Now I'm not a big medicine guy. It's not that I'm afraid of medicine at all. I just don't want to rely on medicine unless I absolutely need it. You know, I'm not going to go get antibiotics unless it's necessary. Like, I don't ask for it, and my father could prescribe his Z-Pack for me. He's got prescription. He can do prescriptions as a pediatric dentist. So I mean, I could get these things done if I wanted to, but I don't want to overdo medicine, because sometimes the body can take care of itself if you provide it the proper fuel. I think food is better than medicine for a cold, because really what a cold's about. Now, the one thing I will do is take Zicam or some zinc when I start feeling crappy. But at the point you are, Ty, it's too late for that. So you need food to do this for you.
And I really haven't eaten a lot this week. I think I've told y'all that I've eaten a couple biscuits with honey and some chicken noodle soup, and that's basically been my intake when it comes to food. So maybe I need to ramp it up to my old ways where I'm stuffing down a full pie or something like that, Phil.
Eric in Hot Springs texts that you should drink some moonshine. Now, Eric, we're trying to heal Ty, not kill him. So I don't know if I'd go with the moonshine.
I had some good apple pie moonshine when I was in school. It was very good. I don't know if it was actual moonshine, but it was at least labeled moonshine, Phil.
But you need something that's going to make you sweat without, killing your brain cells at the same time. Not like I'm against, drinking alcohol at the moment, but I don't think that's the way to get healthy. But I think the spiciest food that you can possibly stomach will do this for you. Now, you and I brought up the idea of menudo, which is a spicy, as I understand it, Mexican breakfast soup. I guess you can eat it any time of the day. And you've never, menudo, you could go play the generational gap button, because you have no idea about Menudo, the band.
Yeah, what?
Generational gap.
Menudo was a
generational gap.
It was a young group of Mexican kids that turned into a giant hit in like 1983 and 1984. I don't remember their songs, but they were on ABC all the time. They had a cartoon. Ricky Martin. I don't know if you know Ricky Martin, but Ricky Martin, who had Livin' La Vida Loca, the giant hit from like 15, 16, 17, maybe 20 years ago. He was part of Menudo. But Menudo, to me, I think, it dealt with like morning. So I think Menudo is a spicy breakfast soup. I'd never eaten this before, but I sat and watched a Travelers hitting coach in San Antonio who had Mexican lineage, who'd eaten this. His mom used to make it for him when he was growing up. He sat down in front of me and ate Menudo in the morning. And I'm not joking here, Ty. Halfway through this bowl of soup, he was sweating so profusely that it was almost dripping in the bowl.
That bad,
So I think that good is really the way he was looking at it, because it was the happiest thing he'd ever eaten in his life up until that point. You need to down some Menudo and make it as spicy as you possibly can. Change my mind.
Well, I'm a big fan of very local, very authentic taquerias. There's some here in Fort Smith. There's some in Springdale where I used to go to, and then other parts of I've had authentic Austin Mexican food, also in Dallas, and I have seen the Menudo. I've seen other gentlemen and gals order it, but I've never had the courage. So I just get my chorizo burrito or El Pastor taco or whatever. But I've at least seen it, and it's what'd you say? Is cow tongue What is it?
Well, no, I don't think it's cow tongue. I think it's tripe. I think it's pig. I think it's intestines, essentially, that'll be inside of it. But I think anything can be in there. You don't have to ask what's inside of it. You just have to eat it and get better.
And again, I'm not a picky person except mac and cheese, and I'm not a huge fan of sweet tea, which is weird because I'm born and raised here in the South. But
also, you're not big on needles, so the Rocephin shot that I think Brent from Spyro was trying to convince you to take, that ain't happening either, is it?
I don't think there's been some other suggestions too. Fish antibiotics, sweat it out, hottie toddies, which I actually might get some whiskey on the way home. There's a cold medicine called Hot Damn, which I've never heard of.
This sounds like it would be spicy.
Yeah, might give it a whirl. We'll see. But there's a bunch of Robert and Van Buren texting on the Cherokee Casino hotline. He says Devil Spit barbecue sauce at Whole Hog. I've had the volcano sauce, Robert, but I've never had the Devil Spit. I guess that's even an up.
I forget the name of the place in Cabot, or if it's even around anymore. It was profiled on a cooking show years back.
Oh yeah, Mandy Food. What's it called? I know
well, they made Shut Up Juice was the name of that spicy barbecue sauce. They would make you sign a waiver if you were going to eat it.
What is that called? Something Pig.
The Mean Pig. That's what it is. I think it's the Mean Pig in Cabot.
I remember because Adam Richmond didn't really go to many Arkansas places, but the one time he went to, I think, Cottom's. He went to the Mean Pig, and there's one other, and I think he just went to a local barbecue place with the Rockefellers. I think is what he did. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I've heard of it, never been to it though. So I guess I've been really cautious about what I've eaten this week, but I just need to go back to my normal food habits and just eat like a 15-year-old teenager. And just
you need to get back to to get back to working out too. You just got to find a way to raise your body temperature.
I'm taking this week off.
No, get back to the gym or go stand next to an extremely attractive lady that you're nervous to talk to. That'll get your body temperature going up too.
Like way up.
Yes, this is all just trying to get you healthy, Ty, so that you can enjoy your weekend as you go to the Oklahoma-Baylor football game.
Yeah, man. And there's going to be a bunch of cuties down there, too. So we'll see what happens.
Well, the body temperature will be going up one way or the other, I guess.
Dude.
Appreciate you tuning in to us today. We'll be back tomorrow. For Ty, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Great camping weather.